Hey everybody, this is James,
Marco,
Nabil,
and Mikey.
And this is the Movie Pals Podcast, podcast number 227. Today we are going to do a review of Supergirl, as well as starting a brand new segment. Let's get into it. All right, so this is our brand new segment we are titling The Action Vault. So we wanted to do something new. It's been a while. I think our last one was our Decades one. We went through that a few months back. We finished that earlier this year. Took a bit of a break from it since then, just because we've just been reviewing movies on and off. Because honestly, sometimes segments do kind of burn us out a bit, honestly. Or was it just watching the Scary Movie franchise burn us out? So maybe
that did a little bit.
That might have been a little bit part of it too.
Yeah.
Because after that, I said, I don't know if I want to do the pod anymore. So that one had me double thinking a couple things. I'm like, man, I don't think I want. No, I was like, I don't think I want to do a marathon again for a while. Good God, that left a bad taste in my mouth. So we were thinking, like, we grew up in the era. Well, most of us in I would say the 90s, but a couple of you guys probably remember the 80s a bit. So we chose a group of actors, kind of I would say not even theoretically the macho men kind of stuff. I guess theoretically macho men. Kind of that,
like
muscles
the face
and brawn
of action movies.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a cool segment where we're going to do. Everybody gets a chance on kind of a setup here. I guess it's kind of hard to explain without physically showing somebody, but basically we're going to do a randomization for the next 4 weeks on this first season, as we call it. It's going to be Marco, Mikey, Nabil, and I. Obviously, it chooses between the four of us. We have a list of actors here that we will get random assigned to us, including Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, JCVD himself, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris, Dolph Lundgren, Kurt Russell, Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, and Jackie Chan. There is a randomization of about 15 movies of each person. I went with their quote-unquote top picks off of not just even critically acclaimed films, but also highly rated films in their audience Rotten Tomato score. That also includes, just to let you know, it is. I did remove certain movies. I didn't want to put. No offense, I didn't want to put like comedy films because a lot of these guys, for some reason, went into comedy for sometimes, or family films. I just want to let you guys know this is mostly aimed at action films, thrillers, and I guess suspense, honestly. But there's no like
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
No Kindergarten Cop, and there's no
Shanghai
like the Babysitter's Dead, or what is it, or which one did the Babysitter?
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Is that the one? I don't remember.
Throw Mama from the Train. Oh no,
no, not even that one. No. See, this is why we're doing this. Nice little refresh. But regardless, that's how it's going to be. So after the first person's picked, they get the 3 films. They're going to we're not going to announce what that film is until the following podcast. So it's kind of a bit of a surprise on what that host chose for their review. And all of us are reviewing, not just their review, but they will guide the review on the following week. And after that movie has been chosen, that's taken out of the randomized list of movies that we have set, so that it cannot be picked again. Also, you will not see like multiple films of the same franchise in any random pick. Like I was telling guys before this, you won't see Rambo 1 and 2 or Rocky 1 and 2, back to back in a pick. It would only be one film from the franchise would be randomly chosen for them. So it gives them more of a variety to pick from. So there is no movie this week. Obviously, this is just the intro for it. So, and by the way, going forward, we will actually run the randomizer I have during the pod so that it's more of a exciting pick. And more like a surprise to everyone. I just kind of did it for this first one just to kind of set the rules and boundaries of everything. But for next week's or next episode's Action Vault review, the host will be Marco. And his action star selected is Kurt Russell. And the 3 random movies he gets to pick from is Escape from New York from 1981, Breakdown from 1997, and Soldier from 1998. So his reveal will be picked next episode, so stay tuned. One thing I do want to actually ask you, Marco, is there any anticipation for this, or are you familiar with Kurt Russell?
Oh, yeah, dude. I grew up in a Kurt Russell household. We'd watch a whole bunch of his movies. He was one of my dad's favorite actors. Whenever there was a Kurt Russell movie, like we'd try to watch it in theaters or rent it. And surprisingly enough, there are a few movies in his filmography that I still haven't seen. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Yeah, I know. He did quite a bit. But I am looking forward. I do like the 3 picks. I think they're solid choices. So I really can't wait.
Sounds good. All right, so that will be next week. So stay tuned, everybody. For now, let's get on to our review of Supergirl.
Crypto and I at least had each other. Honestly, I thought we were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out. What can I do?
The Brickens carry the antidote on that person. He has 3 days.
You cannot give up on me.
It's the crime of the Yellow Hills. He murdered my innocent family.
Just do what I say. And don't die.
Supergirl. This film currently sits at a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 76% audience score. The synopsis is Kara Zor-El, also known as Supergirl, joins forces with an unlikely companion on an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice when an unexpected adversary strikes too close to home. This film was directed by Craig Gillespie, who did Lars and the Real Girl in 2007, I, Tonya in 2017, Cruella in 2021, and Dumb Money in 2023. And this was written by Ana Noguera, who did We Win in 2018. This film has a estimated budget of $170 to $186 million, with an estimated box office globally at around $68 million. This was released just this past weekend, June 26th, in theaters. The film stars Millie Alcock as Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, Matthias Schoenaerts as Creme of the Yellow Hills, Eve Ridley as Ruthie Mary Knoll, David Krumholtz as Zor-El, David Cornsweet as Kal-El, Clark Kent, or as you might know him, Superman. And Jason Momoa plays Lobo. So, let us get into it. Marco, what were your thoughts on the movie? And also, let us know how you kind of watch it. Did you see it in the big screen? I don't think this was actually out in IMAX. Or am I wrong? Was it? Okay. I didn't know if Toy Story took all that. So.
Yeah, they allowed it for a little bit.
They allowed it? Okay. So did you see it in the big screen? Did you see it premium, or how was the theater experience? Was it full empty?
I saw it in XD at the Vacaville Theater, Brendan.
Okay.
With a whopping total of 6 people in the movie theater.
Okay.
What day did you watch it, Marco?
I did see it on Saturday night. So, and we saw the 10 p.m. show actually.
Oh shit.
Okay. Well,
I went with my brother because he got off work really late, so I just waited for him. So we chose the 10 p.m. show.
All right.
I went in with very low expectations because I had heard a lot of the early reviews were just shitting on the movie, like left and right. So I went with really low expectations. I was like, here we go, holding my breath. And actually came out really enjoying it, man. I thought it was fun, dude. I thought a lot of the stuff that was said was super over exaggerated. I mean, it was almost similar complaints as what I heard from the Superman movie. I don't know, man. I thought it was really fun. It sucks that it's doing terrible in movie theaters, but hey, you win some, you lose some. I thought it was like a fun popcorn flick that, nice summer movie that you go enjoy, kick back, relax, watch some superhero stuff. I thought that it was very close to the graphic novel / comic book. The visuals I thought were pretty close to it. It's got a very orangey look, similar to the comics, but yeah, overall, man, fun.
Okay. All right. How about you, Mikey? How was your experience, and what were your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, expectation-wise, I kind of agree with Marco. It's kind of the same boat. You read reviews, you hear some bad stuff about it, and right now I'm just kind of in the mode where I'm just done with like reading reviews before I go to these things and like seeing stuff, because everybody's so negative nowadays. Just everybody in general is just negative. So didn't really have expectations of the film. I did enjoy it here, but the more I think about the movie, I feel like it's kind of forgettable. I mean, there's some fun stuff here, like Marco was saying. I enjoyed it when I was watching it, but I'm thinking back and I don't know. I just didn't think there's not a lot of stuff with all the characters. They really kind of focus just on Supergirl, And what they did with Supergirl was good. I'm not saying anything's bad about that, but I didn't think they kind of worked with the other characters in the film very well. So I liked the movie. I enjoyed it, right? I enjoyed it at the time, but thinking back about it, I don't think I'm going to like really want to rewatch this one a lot or anything like that. It wasn't terrible. I liked it, but didn't blow me out of the water either. So I'm kind of in the middle on this one.
Okay. How about yourself, James? Thoughts and how was your experience?
I mean, it was all right. It was very. I agree with Mikey. I'm like struggling to remember a lot of the movie, honestly, and we only saw it 4 days ago, man. At this point, so
yeah,
it's a very. I don't honestly. I liked Millie Alcock as Supergirl. I thought she was really cool in that role. I think it's just a missed opportunity, especially. I don't think the writing was particularly too strong. Me and Mikey were kind of talking about this. I saw it with Mikey. There was not a lot of people in the theater either, which on a Thursday night you can always tell you're like, this ain't gonna do well. So
yeah, the hype is there or not?
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, we'll talk about it. I think maybe just doing a Supergirl movie right after Superman a year ago is probably wasn't the move. This could have probably been down the line, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting.
To try to introduce some other superheroes or such, or maybe have the Green Lantern show come out first, then do it. I don't know. Overall, though, it looked cool. I know a lot of people are bitching about the look of it, but I didn't have any issue with the look of it. I thought it was fine. I think there's a big missed opportunity with Lobo, though. I wish he was in the movie more, and maybe there could have been a cool little team up, but it just never happens, really. It's just more out of convenience things happen. And to me, that was kind of a missed opportunity just because they're kind of similar in a way. In a lot of ways, but not once is that ever really touched upon. And I got to say, terrible villain. It was just like...
Agreed.
I was like, damn, this is the guy that we got? Some like no-name D-list fucking bad guy. Cram of the Yellow Hills. Whoa, right? I was like, okay. But, I mean, the action was cool, though. It worked for me for the most part. Like Mikey said, though, it was pretty mid, forgettable for me. It's not one of those films that's going to come across and be like, hey guys, we should see Supergirl. I'm like, no, there's like we talked about how like Masters of the Universe had a really good blend of that action and comedy and stuff like that, and just like a spectacular kind of look to it all. And that one bombed too. It's like, I think it's just the way that these people are releasing films too. Like in between Toy Story 5 and Minions, it's like this is like a terrible time to release this right now. Honestly, then they got the Odyssey coming up. It's like, dude, Spider-Man. I'm like, oh
yeah, this window's very short for this film.
Yeah, so. But that's my opinion on it. But
sure.
If you really like the character, I would suppose that you'd probably really enjoy the film. But I just don't think enough people care about Supergirl, in my opinion.
Well, I think that this. I think I'm kind of in the same place as a lot of you guys. I was going in hoping it was going to be better than it was, but I enjoyed the film. But as kind of James and Mike were saying, I'm not going to remember the film. So I think that's right. It was like I had an okay time. I think that we'll talk about some of the visuals and things like that, but I think that there's definitely missed opportunities where the story could have been a little bit better. My theater was about halfway full. I went on a Thursday night, so on the opening night, and so it was okay for what I was expecting the film to get. But I do think that I think the casting is right. Like Millie Alcock as Supergirl, you give her a better script. Not even a better script, but just a better story for her. It'll be great. She'll kill the role. And I do like the scenes where Supergirl interacts with Superman every once in a while. He's there. Those are good. And Lobo's interactions with her are great. And to James's point, I wish we had more Lobo. I was kind of expecting the film to be more of a buddy, like I hate you, you hate me, but we got to work together situation between Supergirl and Lobo. That's not exactly what we got. It went a different direction than I expected. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Like, it's not a film that I'm going to necessarily remember. I do think I might want to watch it again to see if maybe it was just the disappointment that kind of got me off that high a little bit of saying like, oh, this was not what I wanted to be, and maybe I'll appreciate it a little bit more. But first thoughts, it wasn't that great. So let's just talk about what we did like about the movie. What actually did work for you? I know we talked a little bit about Supergirl. I'm going to start with you, James. What was it that you actually did enjoy about the movie?
Like you said, like the casting, I thought worked really well. It's like I said, Millie Alcock. I have no issues with her at all being Supergirl. But Jason Momoa as Lobo 2 was cool. But it always seems like Jason Momoa is always kind of the same guy.
He's just playing himself.
Yeah, it's like this is
just
Lobo.
Saying yeah and woo.
Yeah, he's like, girl, let me get on a motorcycle. It's like, oh, look at this is Lobo version, or this is Aquaman version, or this is Minecraft Jason Momoa.
But some would say that this was the role Jason Momoa was really born to play.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Because he can be himself. I mean,
It's him.
himself.
Yeah, it's just him.
Yeah, did he
That's
just
it.
dress himself too? I mean, $175 million budget though. Oh my god, yikes,
Yeah.
man.
You don't look that
I was
bad. He's
like-
comic book accurate.
I was just like, oh, I thought they were gonna. No, he's fine. I'm just talking the budget overall. I couldn't believe that was the budget of this. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I thought we were trying to make these a little cheaper, guys. Like, god damn.
Right.
Did you
This,
really think-
this is a pretty expensive film for what it's
yeah,
supposed to be.
I was surprised when I was typing the budget, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, holy crap, they're not gonna make this back. So, I mean, that worked. The story is just the weakest aspect to me, man.
Yeah.
I think I just like the characters, the environments, really, and then kind of learning more about her and her past. And I kind of wanted a little more out of that, though, to see why she's telling everyone, like, oh, Superman sees the good in people, and I see the truth. I'm like, care to explain a little more? Because,
Right.
like, there's a huge gap still that we don't see, like, from the point of her landing to where she is. Would have been kind of cool to fill in a little bit more of that, but I guess can't do that
Well,
in an
and-
hour 48 movie. I guess.
And to that, I think those are the things that don't work, right? Is like there are little nuggets of background and history. Like for a film that's called Supergirl, we don't really learn that much about her. We get enough about Superman and his background to be able to jump in and see what his follies are between, trying to be altruistic and the people he interacts with. And
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, just, even the people that are villains, he's just trying to teach them a lesson, being like, you can be a good person. Like, you don't have to be mean to me all the time. But Supergirl, we don't really get a lot of that. We get glimpses of her past. So, Margot,
I disagree, Nabil.
well, great. That's what I was going to go to. Get your take on what you thought didn't work or maybe did work in the story.
I think her whole background is just that she can't get over the trauma of basically losing her homeworld. She basically and losing it twice, learning that she lost it twice too. She's stuck in that. She hasn't moved on from that. So anything that happened in between Krypton exploding, spoiler if you don't know Superman's story or Supergirl's,
Someone's like, great.
to go into Earth, none of that matters because none of that was impactful enough for her. She's still stuck in that mindset, and she's just yearning for a home and for like being able to quote unquote feel alive again, which is why I like the story. I think it works because how many times are we follow the same superhero storyline? They start off humble and they get a calling, stuff like that. That would have been boring. We already got that with Superman, and then we're probably going to get that with all the other superheroes. So it was nice to see something different, someone who's experiencing something completely different than the other superheroes. And she doesn't even really see herself as one either. There's a line in the movie where she says, I'm just me. Like, why do I matter? Surviving, this ordeal and stuff. And it's that carries, the story. And that's the whole point, is her finally elevating herself to see that, oh, I do have these powers and I do have a calling. I should, be able to do good, just like my cousin and stuff. And having her personality differ because of that than Superman's, I think is a way better contrast too. Because if she's just like Superman, that's boring to me. I'm like, okay, cool, another noble superhero. Okay, that's what also made Superman really cool and stand out compared to the other heroes who were jaded, who had more of a personality, who were more realist. And I think her line of her saying, I see the truth, and the truth is that it's not just the fight of good and evil. There's an in-between in there as well too. And that's kind of where she lives, is right in the in-between. And it kind of worked for me because it was just different. Could it have been executed better? 100%. I think cleaning up some of the dialogue and maybe making it a little bit more of a spectacle would have made it a little bit better. So that's, I think, where it fails. It's like elevate it a little bit more. This is a superhero movie, a summer superhero movie, and it felt more like, no offense to Ant-Man, it felt more kind of like an Ant-Man caliber movie, like just kind of like, oh, here's like a little filler movie, maybe giving it a little bit more time. But to me, I think it still has rewatchability because of the character and because of the storyline that they chose.
Mikey, picking up of where Marco was going with this, do you think that Supergirl's character had any growth by the end of the film? Or do you feel like, do you kind of agree with him in that sense? Or are you feeling something else?
I mean, I partially agree with what he's saying. Like, I get it. Like, we see the event that kind of sparks her whole like attitude and her, I guess, morals and that kind of stuff. But I do think that they needed to transition a little bit better, like have a single flashback, like her arrival scene where she's like just arrived on Earth. I thought that was like kind of thrown away. They could have done something way better in that section to kind of bridge like the main event of, you know, Krypton exploding or whatever, and she escaping out. They did a good job showing off that section and like why she is the way she is, but there was no like transition from that point to see why she can't let it go. Right. So I would like another scene in there. Probably that scene could have been taken out where she lands and just have another scene there what kind of bridges the gap that we're missing. I think that would have been much better than what they had. Overall, though, I think she is, you know, at the beginning of the film, you almost don't like her. Like she's almost not a likable person at all. And I think by the end, you actually do kind of turn around a little bit. Obviously, we'll probably talk about more of that in spoilers a little bit because we don't want to do some of that stuff here, but you do definitely see a transition between the person she is in the beginning of the film and then the stuff that happens and how she's treating another person that's somewhat in the same situation she is, you know, how that changes her and her perspective on what's happening inside of herself.
Well, and going on to that, so with the story itself, Supergirl's guilted into helping Ruthie, whose parents had died at the hands of Krem, and she wants to get revenge, and she wasn't really interested in helping her out, but I think, and I believe this shows in the trailers, I'm going to say that it's not a spoiler, but Krypto is ill, and so because he's ill, Supergirl feels like, okay, I'm going to go help you out, but only to save my dog. And so this ends up becoming a whole partnership of Supergirl with Ruthie trying to go and stop Krem to kind of both accomplish both things, get revenge for Ruthie and also save Krypto. James, we didn't talk much about her yet, but what were your thoughts on Ruthie, on Eve Ridley's portrayal of her? Like, do you think she was a good character, or do you what were your thoughts on her overall?
I honestly forgot she was in the movie.
Okay.
She was annoying the whole fucking film, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Here.
She's literally the one where she could have just been like, "Hey, stay back. I'll handle this." I'd have been like, "Cool, we don't need her anyways. Just do it yourself. You don't need her. She's gonna hold you back." It's got a cool.
She did, but I think a lot of times she held her back.
She's like I get it. The whole path is like she doesn't want her to go down the same path that she apparently went down, or something.
At
apparently,
some point.
I agree with Marco though on the thing. It's just the execution. Really, by the end of it, is where it could have elevated. Like overall villain could have been cooler. A bit over. Like I agree, it is like an Ant-Man. It's like a filler film. This could have been like an HBO Max like special or something. I don't know if they do those, but. You know what I'm talking about, but she didn't add much to me. She's probably one of the weaker characters in the movie. Every time it was focused on her doing something, I was like, cool. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I knocked out during that prison scene. I don't know if Mikey saw me or not. I don't know what the hell happened. I woke up and Lobo was throwing grenades or some shit. And I was like, shit, did I miss anything? No, I didn't.
I think she's forgettable, but I think she's supposed to represent just kind of like the innocence that Kara lost when she lost her planet and stuff, and going somewhere. And Mikey mentioned Kara going to Earth, and we see that she can't even speak English or the common tongue or anything. So she feels very jaded by everything that she's lost and everything. She sees that path for Ruthie, though I do admit Ruthie could have been done better. She's a forgettable character.
And some of her dialogue was so cringe. I was like, ugh. I was like, stop.
But like
she's playing honorable, guys. Come on now.
Okay.
But like it showed also, like if she just left her alone, that chick would have just gone and tried to do it anyway. So she had to keep her there to kind of keep an eye on her and make sure she didn't do something stupid, which in no spoiler, but in the movie, she does do something stupid at a really high cost too. And we see the consequence of that.
To what you were saying earlier, Marco, about Supergirl's whole journey into, finding herself and, not being the same thing as Superman. I do think the whole point of Ruthie really was the driving force of it. She was supposed to be the catalyst for a change and seeing the errors of her way, right? Like I can be better and I don't have to wallow in my own grief. I do not think that is what was accomplished, but I do think that that's why she was there. So your thoughts on like where Supergirl should have been growing and like what we were seeing, I feel like that's somewhere in the script. I really don't think we saw a lot of that though. I really don't think it was really shown the way that they wanted to again, to your point, not being executed properly. And then speaking of execution, we did speak a little bit about Lobo, Jason Momoa. Just a general question. Did anybody feel like Lobo's scenes mattered? Like if you just cut them, would you have cared? Like I think to me, it's fine.
from what I understand, like James Gunn wanted him in the movie, so they added him to the script.
I think he was just there to introduce the character. That's it.
Not that it was bad. I enjoyed the scenes with Lobo, but
Yeah, cool.
I don't think it added anything to the movie. I only really know of the character from like Justice League, and stuff. So is he really supposed to be a bad guy in this, or is he more just like a kind of the anti-hero kind of thing? Like he's not bad, but he's not really good either.
Yeah,
I don't know what we were supposed to be getting out of him in this. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like
he's a bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A bounty hunter, but he's teamed up with bad guys before and plenty of times against the Justice League. So
yeah,
I think as much as they're trying to take their time with the universe, it's like, but you keep putting a bunch of characters in the movie. Is like maybe chill, maybe spread them out a little bit. I can feel the studio nudging and saying, no, put them in.
Which is funny because like
James Gunn
said that a movie's not going to be approved until the script's great, and he was like, the script for this one's amazing, and I'm like, is he spread a little thin? You think? Like, I don't think James Gunn should be directing anymore. I think if he's going to do this whole thing, he needs to do a Kevin Feige thing.
Focus on the whole thing,
yeah, because it sounds like he's still trying to get his 2 cents in and do his own thing. That's a little side tangent, obviously.
Is he directing Man of Steel as well?
Yeah, the second one.
Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah.
So so he's doing that's a lot to direct 2 of the top shelf films
Supergirl's in it. That's why I think that's why this one was next, because she's going to be in that one along with Lex and Superman. Spoiler.
Even though they said it's like, hey, this could be a standalone. It doesn't have to connect. That's why there's no post-credit scene. So, I mean, it still tells a story, but yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how the film looked. What did you guys think about the action? Mikey, I'm going to get your thoughts. Did you enjoy some of the fighting scenes in there? I think I personally, there was a couple that did stand out for me.
Yeah, no, I thought the action was good. There's actually a lot of fight scenes too. Even the ones where like you don't see the whole fight, it wasn't even that bad. Like there's one where it's like from Eve Ridley's perspective, like you're just looking at her, but there's a bunch of action going on in the background. So they kind of mixed up a little bit. There was different types of action for the scenes. There was a lot of them. I think they pulled off what they could, and they did a good job with the action stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really liked the bus scene in space. Not to spoil too much over there, but I really liked how that whole thing played out, and like her getting her powers and everything like that, and fighting. Like that was very Guardians of the Galaxy coded almost to me a little bit, but in a good way.
Yeah, and it's actually the one time where they kind of, in my opinion at least, kind of blended comedy with action well. Like the other ones don't really have a lot of comedy. There's just like 1 or 2 things that happen like in between things that are happening, but that's the one scene that kind of blended it together and it pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah. Any other action scenes, or what about the graphics itself? James, what were your thoughts on the effects? Did you? I think it was a mix of practical and CG. I don't think it was 100% CG. What were your thoughts?
So they still don't quite have the flying down, do they? For Superman and Supergirl.
Yeah, I think they're still.
It's a little off for me compared to the Zack Snyder stuff. I'll give them that much.
Yeah,
I'm like, something's a little off where it's like a little too noticeable. I'm like, huh.
And he said for the Superman film, it was intentional to make it look a little weird because it's supposed to be that whole like it's really hard to see him on the camera. Yeah, the wide angle.
It's almost like a fisheye, isn't it?
Yeah, it's intentional, but it does look.
CG was good though. I had no complaints. I don't think anything looked off or anything. Honestly, I like how they use a lot of practical effects for the costumes too for the aliens. A lot of mix of aliens this one. So that was cool.
There was a lot of aliens, yeah.
It was a little off. That's it. Like with the fetch scene, and also like just a little bit during that fight scene you were talking about, Nabil. I think that was the only time I felt it was like a little off. That's about it.
What about all the gray and brown planets that we saw? All the different brown planets that we visited that were wastelands.
It's quite a few, yeah.
But I think the color palette and everything kind of matches Kara's
emotions.
Emotions and stuff. So,
sure.
You see the muted colors in the beginning, you see the change a little bit, and you see like a bright scene at the very end. Like it kind of just makes sense a little bit. It doesn't bother me.
With the artistic vision. Okay, Mikey.
They copied the comic a little too much because it has a lot of oranges and browns and stuff too. But I thought that was kind of cool. I kind of like it when they maybe don't copy it a little too much, but it didn't really bother me too much.
Let's talk a little bit about what we actually did enjoy and what we didn't enjoy. We can throw this out. I'm just going to say first, anybody have anything that they thought really stood out for them? Their favorite part of the movie?
I'd say the destruction of Krypton was pretty cool. It was nice seeing it from a different perspective. We always see it from not even really Superman's perspective because he's a baby, but the perspective of his parents and the other Kryptonians. But it was cool to see it from a different angle, and I'm glad they went that route too. So it differentiates it from the other ones. I wish Krypton looked a little bit more alien, but I feel it still worked. But it was cool watching that scene.
This might be a little bit of a spoiler, but anybody like the line of Kara's dad basically saying that his brother wanted to make Superman some kind of god or ruler? Like they doubled down on the comment of that.
Yeah.
Zor-El's not the best.
Yeah,
person,
even when he's launching off, they're like, he's going to be the destructor of worlds or some shit, I think, or something like that. I was like, whoa.
And her dad is the more altruistic one. I was like, hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
And David Krumholtz, I was like, oh, that's your dad? That's cool.
It's kind of cool. They kind of show like the different opinions of the Kryptonians and stuff, you know, and saying like, well, maybe you shouldn't do that. That treat it like a big deal, but it's a big deal to us.
All right.
I like that they used different suns.
They did.
I liked how they kind of showed those off a little bit.
I don't know if it was used to great effect, but they did. I mean, to some instance, though, I do like I liked seeing the green sun. That was an interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before, or none of the comics that I've read. I haven't read too many, but I'd never actually seen that being used. So I thought that was an interesting thing that adjusts their powers.
I saw online that's from like one of the obscure comics and stuff, but they've used it a couple times for Superman and her.
I think they've used it for what the Supergirl comic is based out of. This whatever issue they might have actually. Yeah. But I'd never read that part, so yeah. What about worst part? Anything that you really just felt didn't work and we should have just cut that whole thing out? I think James specifically said that he forgot Ruthie existed, so we know that part should have been cut out. We didn't talk about Krem, so I could tell you as much that how great of that villain is. I think that he was kind of exactly.
Why did he carry the poison on him? Like, get rid of it, or the antidote.
Well, yeah, the throwaway line for that was that he had it on to torture his victims, so he would poison them, and as soon as they were close to dying, he'd give them the antidote, and then basically go back and forth with it until.
But if he knew that's what they were coming after her for, what if he's like, I got rid of it?
Right. Well,
that would just make too much sense. Then you wouldn't have a movie, James.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's that confident. Like he never seemed afraid the whole time. Like he was just always like
he's just always eating other people's food and drinks. It was fucking gross.
That was the point. He was a piece of shit.
So let's go into our overall ratings and see if we'd recommend it. I'm gonna start with you, Mikey. What would you give this film, and would you recommend it?
I was going back and forth between 2.5 and 3. I think I'll sit on 3. It, like I said, it didn't blow me away. I did enjoy it when I was watching it. So I think it's okay to go and watch it. If you think you're going to like the character as a whole, I think there's some value here to kind of just have like Marco was saying at the very beginning, popcorn flick, just have some fun. And I think you'll be okay with this one.
All right. James, how about you?
I gave it a 3. I don't think you need to rush out to see this one, honestly. So I would wait for streaming.
All right. How about you, Marco?
I give it 3.5. I still think it's a lot of fun, worth a watch. I mean, shoot, I still watch the Ant-Man movies, so I'm definitely going to watch this again.
Yeah, I also gave it 3.5 stars. I'd say it's a soft 3.5. I enjoyed it more than you guys did, I think, or at least Mikey and James. But I was a little disappointed to it. I expected more, but I'd watch it again, and I think it's a worthwhile watch. Definitely, I enjoyed it more than the 80s Supergirl film. So, not a high bar, but there it is.
And John, you can send a text now to the group right now.
All right. We do have a little spoiler to talk about, just mostly about how the film ends. If you haven't watched the film yet and you want to save that for yourself, go ahead and skip forward a little bit and you can hear what our next movie reviews are going to be. Otherwise, stick around and listen to our little spoiler discussion. All right, so Krem, again, not much of a villain. I liked how James put it. He basically wasn't that strong. He was like the D-list of the villains, especially for a Kryptonian who's all powerful. I feel like he put up too hard of a fight for her. I know like different aliens maybe have different power levels than humans and everything, but I mean, she's supposed to be like the top of the top, right? So I don't think he was the best supervillain, and I don't think we got a lot out of us caring for what he did. I mean, to what Mark was saying, he does traffic girls, and I think that obviously makes him a really bad guy. But at the same time, that's the whole shtick of the what are they, pirates or something that they've got going on, or some band of pirates? I think
Raiders or something.
Raiders, maybe.
Raiders. Yeah.
So why didn't they just, if they were going to put Lobo in it, why not just make Lobo the bad guy?
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with James. Like, I feel like you had Lobo right there if he's supposed to be the baddest of them all. But he was hunting one of the, I guess, raiders. In
like a no-name guy. Like, I'm after this guy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
not even the main guy, right?
cool. Like his
they could have
second in
teamed
command
up
or something.
like against the Marauders or whatever
Absolutely.
they're called. Yeah, like they're fighting. Like, oh wait a minute, these guys are fucking worse. Let's go after these guys, and then oh hey, you're not that bad, you know.
So the ultimate ending of this film is Supergirl does her Supergirl thing. She gets her power. She beats the crap out of everybody. And
Can I mention though, it's also really anticlimactic how she takes him out.
Right, and that's what I was getting to. So Krem is basically like at the point where somebody's got to take him out, or he could be, there could be mercy, and he's like, never do this again, or whatever it is. But so Ruthie gets the opportunity for her revenge. Supergirl's convincing Ruthie not to do it because it'll scar her for the rest of her life, even though she saw her parents and brother murdered in front of her. And and Supergirl's like, be on your way. And so Ruthie leaves, and Supergirl's like, F you, and kills him herself. That's how this film like resolves everything, because Supergirl's a badass and she could have done that at any point. So I'm gonna go back to you, Marco, in regards to this character arc we were talking about. How do you think this played out? Like, do you think this played out well for the character? How this ended for Ruthie and for Supergirl and her kind of changeover? Like, I need to go back to Earth. Like, what were your thoughts on how this film actually ended with this villain?
I'll preface it with this, dude. There is no way that you can let a human trafficker live. So he had to die. Second of all, she basically protected Ruthie from becoming a killer eventually. Like, she is at a point where she could, feel the thrill of a kill and go on from there because she's, still a kid, versus Kara, who's an adult, and she's like, I'll take the hit for this one. Basically, like, I'll shield you from doing that fucking act. And she's not Superman.
Right.
The no kill thing is Superman's thing. I mean, Kara's switches on and off pretty much. They decide in the comics whether or not she kills or doesn't. But
I think Superman's killed before, though.
Yeah, but
I don't know about this universe, I guess.
A lot of the nerds hold him to that standard. So I mean, they're keeping that standard with him. They're saying like, everybody else is up for grabs, dude. They don't follow that code. That's just his code because he's hella OP. But if he does it, he might never stop. Or is that Batman? I don't know. Anyway, I think it still falls into that arc. Was it too far? Yeah, she killed the guy. Okay, yeah, but also he didn't deserve to live. I mean, she probably could have sent him to the Phantom Zone, yeah, to reform him and everything. But that dude was too far gone, probably. Like he would have died in the Phantom Zone anyway. So I still think it carries that arc.
What were your thoughts, James?
My issue is that like I felt like Supergirl's growth just throughout it just wasn't like she flips the switch a little bit too quick on that one, where she's like, I'm going to help her now.
I agree.
But I wanted a little bit more struggle, I guess, out of that. But I was surprised that she did it, honestly. But I was like, I get it. But it's also like, maybe wait till Ruthie's more than 10 feet away from you before you murder the guy. I'm like, she's still kind of there.
I just don't know how killing him gets Kara to how she is the very end scene with Superman. It doesn't make sense that killing him is just now made everything better, right? It's like, oh yeah, now I'm like I'm okay being here on Earth. I'm okay living here. I'm okay helping you out because I killed somebody. It doesn't make sense. That transition didn't make sense to me.
Mikey, none of us has killed anyone. We don't know if that's the feeling you get, okay? Maybe that happens. I don't know.
Well, I mean, she killed a really bad dude, man. Like, it's not like, it was a guy that, robbed a liquor store or something, and didn't kill anybody. Like, this dude was going from planet to planet.
If you think about, so just to add on to this, because to where you're going with this, Marco, Lex Luthor in the last film did basically try to kill Superman and had every intention. He shot somebody point blank in the head. So it's not like there aren't bad people on Earth doing stuff that Kara couldn't take care of. But what I will give you the benefit of the doubt in the sense of that the way I was looking at the character arc and how she got to where she did was really just because she saw Ruthie suffering and what her revenge was kind of, that emotion was eating at her to kind of, save her family and avenge whatever their name, that she was holding on to something for her people in the same way and was finally able to just say, okay, I need to let this go before it consumes me and be with the family that I do have, like Ruthie's with her aunt. So that's where I looked at that. But I also kind of agree with Mike in that it was a bit of a stretch of killing this guy yes, he's a bad guy, but that wasn't really going to reform her. Like, I think it was the journey that they didn't do too well of showing that really got her there than really just killing the guy.
It's more or less basically she never really felt connected to anything until she felt the connection to Ruthie's story. And, which is weird because I'm sure that's probably happened to other people on Earth. But again, she just didn't feel any connection the way Superman feels connection to the humans because he grew up there, but she came to Earth when she was a teenager already and stuff. So that was the first time she was like, oh, I can't connect to someone else who doesn't come from Krypton and, also went through shit that I did. And maybe I can, feel this connection when I go back to Earth and stuff in protecting someone and keeping them, safe. That's kind of, how I see it. So
I would have loved a scene of just that 10-year period where she was on Earth, just like not connecting with somebody or people. Yeah. I would have just loved one more scene.
Droning out a little bit, trying to say, like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Or just humans just being mean to her, right? I mean, that could have been something like that.
I would have...
Just one more little scene.
But I would have just said that's just like, that's Man of Steel. He goes through the same thing. We see that in Man of Steel. And
I love Man of Steel. So
love that movie.
No, I do too. But I mean, I wanted something different. And that's, I think that's why I enjoyed it. Because if they didn't like an origin story and stuff, it would have just been like, oh, it's another origin story.
Or
I don't mind origin stories if they're done right, honestly.
Or maybe it was really just that she wanted her dog to live, and now that she saw that he almost died, she's like, oh, my dog lived. I should go back home. Any other thoughts on the film? Anything else we want to close with?
I like the conversation with her dad. I think it was pretty cool right before he, gets yeeted.
Technically, they didn't die, by the way. If you guys follow the comics... Yeah. That little place might be somewhere, just to let you know.
But, Brainiac might come into play.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Can I just say, I don't really like Crypto. The dog annoys me.
Superman too.
Superman. I didn't like him in Superman either. I didn't like him here. He's a little too much.
I like him better in
down
Superman.
A little bit. Yeah.
He's better in Superman because he was more annoying. Like he hated Superman, so everything he did was against
he didn't
what
hate
Superman
He's just a fucking dog. He doesn't know how rough he can be.
He hated Superman. He loves Supergirl. That's his own.
Like, well, yeah. When your owner's an alcoholic, this is how the dogs end up, guys. So, yeah, it's never the dog, guys. It's the owner. Remember that.
True. Don't blame the pet.
But yeah, it's Supergirl, I guess.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. Anyways, that wraps up episode 227 of the Movie Pals podcast. Marco, let everyone know how they can keep up with us.
You can find us on every major podcast platform, so follow and listen wherever you like. For links to all our socials and more, head over to linktree/moviepalspod. That's linktr.ee/moviepalspod. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss another super episode.
And check us out on TikTok at Movie Pals Pod for sneak peeks, quick takes, and behind-the-scene clips.
And coming up next, episode 228, where we will be reviewing Marco's Action Vault pick, as well as the latest entry in the Evil Dead franchise, Evil Dead Burn.
Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, drop us a rating and share it with a friend. It helps out a ton. Thank you for listening. This is the Movie Pals signing out.